None of the following stories are true, for they have all been written by ChatGPT. Still, suspend disbelief and enjoy the spooky stories. Subscribe to the channel for more. Now, let's roll.
My name's Emily. I live in Chicago, in one of those old brick apartment buildings that feels charming in the daytime, and incredibly creepy at night. This happened last winter. I had just gotten out of a breakup and moved into a one-bedroom apartment on the third floor. It was small, a little outdated, but I liked that it felt quiet, peaceful, even. That changed pretty fast. About a week after moving in, I started noticing weird little things. I'd find my closet door cracked open when I knew I had closed it. The bathroom faucet would be dripping even though I was sure I hadn't touched it. Harmless stuff, right? I figured it was just me being scatterbrained from stress. But then one night, I was sitting on the couch reading when I heard a voice. It came from my bedroom. A man's voice. He said,
"Don't do that."
That's it. Just 3 words. Calm. Low. Way too close. I froze. I didn't move, didn't even breathe. I just sat there, staring at the hallway. The bedroom light was off. There was no TV on. No radio. I don't even own an Alexa. I grabbed my phone and turned on the flashlight. Walked into the bedroom, heart pounding like a drumline in my chest. Nothing. Nobody was there. I checked the closet. Under the bed. I even checked behind the shower curtain like I was in a horror movie. Still nothing. I didn't sleep much that night. The next morning, I convinced myself I had imagined it. Maybe I'd fallen asleep and dreamed it. Maybe a neighbor had their window open. Who knows? That night, I locked my bedroom door. Which, by the way, doesn't even have a proper lock, just one of those flimsy twist knobs you could probably open with a paperclip. Around 1:45 a.m., I woke up to a loud bang. I sat up in bed. Another bang. I got up, opened the bedroom door slowly, and looked out. The kitchen cabinet doors were all open. Every single one. And one of the chairs had been pulled out from the table. I stood there totally frozen. Just watching. Waiting for something else to happen. Then I heard it again. Same voice. Same calm tone.
"You need to leave."
I ran. I didn't even grab my keys. I just threw on a hoodie and ran out the door barefoot in the snow, phone in hand. I called my sister and stayed at her place for the next 3 nights. Here's the part that really messes me up. I had a locksmith come out and check the place the next day. He told me there were no signs of a break-in. Nothing tampered with. The door was perfectly intact. Then he asked me something I didn't expect. He said, "Hey, do you know someone named Tom? That name is scratched into the back of your bedroom closet door." I didn't. But I checked. And there it was, Tom, scratched into the wood. Deep. Like someone had done it slowly over time. I moved out 2 weeks later. Still don't know who Tom is. Still don't know whose voice that was, but every now and then, when I wake up in the middle of the night for no reason, I swear, I still hear it. Just the same 3 words.
"You need to leave."
I don't really tell this story to people, not because I'm embarrassed or anything, but because the second I start talking about it, I start feeling that exact same fear all over again, that tight-chested, cold sweat kind of fear, like something's wrong and you just can't see it yet. Anyway, my name's Jake. This happened back in 2019, when I was still in college. I was in this cruddy little, 2-bedroom apartment near campus, cheap rent, super thin walls, and neighbors who always seemed like they were moving furniture at 3 a.m. I lived alone, but not by choice. My roommate bailed mid-lease to move in with his girlfriend, and I couldn't find anyone to fill the room in time, so I just locked the door to his room, and figured I'd rough it until the lease was up. The first weird thing happened maybe 2 weeks after he left. I woke up to what I thought was the sound of someone walking around in the living room, not like the building creaking, actual footsteps, slow, measured. I froze. My bedroom door was shut, but I hadn't locked it. I grabbed my phone and looked at the time, 3:47 a.m. of course it was. I laid there for a good 5 minutes, just staring at the bottom of the door, waiting for a shadow to appear. But nothing happened. Eventually, I chalked it up to my upstairs neighbors. Paper-thin ceilings, remember, except the next morning, I found the bathroom light was on. I never sleep with that light on. I'm super sensitive to light when I sleep, always have been. The door to my old roommate's room was still shut and locked. At least, it looked that way. Fast forward a few nights later, I'm dead asleep when I hear 3 knocks. Not on my front door, not on the walls, but on my bedroom door. 3 slow knocks. I jolted awake, heart pounding so hard I thought I was having a panic attack. I didn't move. I didn't even breathe. I just listened. Whoever it was didn't say anything, didn't jiggle the knob, just knocked. And then silence. After maybe 30 minutes, I worked up the nerve to open the door and check the apartment. Nobody. All the windows locked. Front door bolted, but I noticed the locked door to the other bedroom was just slightly cracked open. Now here's where it gets really messed up. The next day, I texted my old roommate and asked if he'd ever had anything weird happen in that apartment. He didn't respond for hours. When he finally did, he just said, "Don't sleep with the bedroom door open." That's it. No follow-up. I tried calling him and he didn't answer. That night, I pushed a chair up under the knob of my bedroom door and stacked a few noisy objects on top. If anyone opened it, I'd know. Around 2:30 a.m., I woke up suddenly, like my body just knew something was wrong. And that's when I noticed it. A silhouette, standing right outside my window. I was on the 2nd floor. The figure didn't move, just stood there, faceless, barely visible through the curtains. I didn't get up. I didn't even blink. I just laid there and stared until the sun started coming up and the shadow disappeared. I moved out the next day, packed up everything and crashed on a friend's couch until I found a new place. Never went back for the deposit, never looked back. I never figured out if someone was living in that other room, or if something else was. But to this day, I never sleep with the door open. And if I hear 3 knocks in the night, I don't answer.
My name's Alyssa. I work the night shift at a hospital downtown, so my schedule is all kinds of backwards. I usually get off around 4 o'clock in the morning, drive home, crash, and try to live like a semi-normal human being on weekends. This story happened about 3 months ago. There's a parking garage attached to the hospital. It's old, damp, and echoey, like something out of a crime show. But it's cheap and right next to the ER entrance, so I park there every night. One morning, after a long shift, I was walking back to my car, half asleep, dragging my feet, and I noticed something weird. My car door was unlocked. Now, I always lock it. It's muscle memory at this point. I even double-click the button like a paranoid dork. But okay, maybe I messed up. I was tired. Then I opened the door and immediately felt off. The driver's seat was pushed all the way back. I'm only 5 feet 4 inches. I can barely reach the pedals unless the seat's pulled up, so there's no way I left it like that. I checked the car for anything missing. Purse was still there. Glove box unopened. Nothing obviously stolen. But here's the part that's still messing with me. There was a half-empty bottle of water in the cup holder. A brand I don't drink. Still cold. I reported it to security in the garage. They kind of shrugged it off and told me maybe a homeless person got in, but they said they'd check the camera anyway. I went home. Tried to sleep. Couldn't. The next day, one of the security guys called me. He sounded confused. Said I should come down and see the footage myself. So I did. What I saw made my skin crawl. At 3:17 a.m., about 45 minutes before my shift ended, a figure walked into the parking garage from the stairwell. Hooded. Slouched. Couldn't see their face. They walked straight up to my car. No hesitation. They opened the driver's side door, somehow unlocked, and got in. Then they just sat there. For over 40 minutes. No movement. No phone. No fidgeting. Just sitting in the dark with their hands on the wheel like they were practicing being me. Then, at 4:01, the figure got out. Closed the door softly. And walked back toward the stairwell, completely calm. Less than 2 minutes later, I entered the frame. I walked right past them. We missed each other by literal seconds. Here's the kicker, the footage from the stairwell camera, where the person came and left? Gone. Corrupted. All of it. Just a black screen and a timecode skipping like a scratched DVD. Security swore up and down they didn't touch anything. And honestly, they seemed just as freaked out as I was. I filed a police report. Changed my routine. I even bought a dash cam and a steering wheel lock, which makes me feel like an 80-year-old grandma, but whatever. Better paranoid than dead. Nothing else has happened since, but every time I walk to my car in that garage, I check the seat. And I check the water bottle. Because the next time it's cold, I'm not getting in.